Here's a question I want you to sit with for a moment. You have spent decades saving for retirement, a 401k here, an IRA there, maybe a taxable brokerage account, and if you have been disciplined, a Roth account too. You have done the hard part. You have the money. But here's the question almost nobody asks until it is too late. Once you actually start spending that money in retirement, which account do you pull from first? The order in which you withdraw can be worth tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes more than $100,000, over the course of your retirement. Almost nobody explains this before it's too late to fix it. My name is Finn, and this is Finn Retires, the channel that exists to make sure the money you worked your entire life to save actually stretches as far as it possibly can. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button right now before we go any further. Every week on this channel, we cover the rules and strategies that determine whether your retirement savings work as hard for you as you work to build them. Today's topic is one of the most financially significant decisions most retirees never realize they are making. Subscribe, and let's get into it. The traditional advice almost every retiree has heard is to withdraw from taxable brokerage accounts first, then traditional tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks, and save Roth accounts for last, letting that tax-free growth compound as long as possible. Here is what almost nobody tells you. Research across multiple independent financial institutions has increasingly shown this default order is not actually optimal for most retirees, and following it blindly can mean paying significantly more in lifetime taxes than necessary. According to research published by Rowe Price, dynamic sequencing, strategically timing withdrawals from tax-deferred accounts to fill lower tax brackets early in retirement, can save retirees approximately $36,000 in lifetime taxes compared to the conventional order. That same research found this approach can improve the after-tax legacy passed on to heirs by as much as $169,000, because a more tax-efficient strategy during your lifetime leaves more total wealth intact for the next generation. Separate independent analysis of strategic bracket-filling approaches estimates thoughtful withdrawal. Sequencing can save retirees somewhere between $50,000 and $200,000 in lifetime taxes over a 30-year retirement, depending on account balances and tax bracket exposure. The core problem is that the conventional rule of thumb completely ignores your actual tax bracket in any given year. It treats withdrawal order as fixed and mechanical, regardless of what your income actually looks like this year versus 5 years from now. Financial researchers, including Reichenstein and Horan, have shown that withdrawing from traditional accounts, specifically to fill up a lower tax bracket, rather than avoiding those accounts until forced to, produces a meaningfully lower average tax rate across your entire retirement. If you're sitting comfortably in a lower tax bracket in a given year, and you let that bracket space go unused by drawing only from your taxable account, you're leaving a genuine opportunity on the table. Up to 85% of your Social Security benefit can become taxable, depending on your combined income. The withdrawal decisions you make in your 60s and early 70s can directly shape how much of your Social Security becomes taxable later. If you defer traditional withdrawals for years, then need larger withdrawals later, that larger withdrawal pushes your combined income higher in exactly the years a bigger share of Social Security is also on the table to become taxable. Then there's the piece that ties everything together: required minimum distributions. Once you reach age 73, the IRS forces you to withdraw minimum amounts from traditional accounts, whether you need the money or not. Retirees who defer all traditional withdrawals for as long as possible often arrive at RMD age with a much larger traditional balance than needed. And because RMDs are a percentage of that balance, a larger balance means a larger, more disruptive mandatory withdrawal. The strategy that felt safest in your 60s, leave the traditional accounts alone, can become the exact thing that creates a much larger tax bill once RMDs begin. Earlier, strategic withdrawals can meaningfully soften that future spike. Let me walk through a realistic example. Consider a couple, Frank and Carol, both 65, with $2 million, $1 million in traditional 401ks, $200,000 in Roth IRAs, and $800,000 in a taxable brokerage account. Under the conventional approach, Frank and Carol would spend down their taxable account first, letting traditional and Roth accounts continue growing untouched. This feels intuitive and conservative. But under a more strategic approach, they would begin drawing a meaningful amount from their traditional 401k each year, enough to intentionally fill their lower tax brackets, even before claiming Social Security, while also drawing from taxable accounts to take advantage of 0% capital gains rates. Only later, in years where their income needs exceed what traditional and taxable withdrawals comfortably cover, would they turn to their Roth account to supplement spending without adding to their taxable income. This blended, bracket-aware approach is exactly what the research is built around. I want to be honest. There is no single universal withdrawal order correct for every retiree. Your ideal sequence depends on your account balances, current and future tax brackets, whether you plan to leave money to heirs, and how close you are to RMD age. The consistent finding across the research is not here is the one correct order. It's that treating withdrawal order as passive and mechanical, rather than an active choice you revisit every year, is where the real cost hides. There's one additional strategy worth understanding: Roth conversions. Deliberately converting a portion of your traditional account into a Roth account and paying the tax now at today's rate can be a powerful complement to strategic sequencing. Many retirees find themselves in an unusually low tax bracket in the years between retiring and when Social Security and RMDs begin. Converting traditional dollars to Roth dollars during those specific years can lock in a lower rate on money that would otherwise be taxed higher later. This is a more advanced strategy that genuinely benefits from working directly with a tax professional or financial advisor who can run the specific numbers for your situation. Here's what I want you to do. First, map out your account balances by type. How much is in taxable, traditional, and Roth accounts? Second, look at your current tax bracket and ask whether there's unused space a modest traditional withdrawal could fill. Third, if you haven't yet claimed Social Security and aren't yet subject to RMDs, recognize this window may be your lowest tax bracket for the rest of retirement, and it deserves a deliberate strategy. Fourth, talk to a tax professional about whether a Roth conversion makes sense for your situation. And fifth, revisit this decision every single year. Your ideal sequence in year one of retirement is not necessarily the same sequence that serves you best 5 or 10 years later. Saving for retirement gets enormous attention throughout your working life. But the decisions you make after you retire about how and when to spend that money can be worth just as much. It's simply a quieter part of the conversation. And that quiet is exactly what lets tens of thousands of dollars slip away. If this video gave you a new way of thinking about your accounts, share it with someone retired or approaching retirement with savings spread across multiple account types. And drop a comment below. Did you know the conventional order might not be optimal for your situation? I read every single comment personally.